Question 1. Which of the following is a type of detection visual acuity test in neonates? Option A. Snellen's E-chart test. Option B. Arrow's test. Option C. Catford drum test. Option D. Fluke's symbol test. The correct answer is C. Catford drum test. Explanation. The Catford drum test assesses visual acuity in neonates by observing optokinetic nystagmus responses to moving targets of varying sizes. It is an objective method suitable for infants who cannot perform subjective recognition tests.
Subscribe our channel for more videos like this. Question 2. The most common type of clinically significant congenital cataract is Option A. Sunflower cataract. Option B. Anterior polar cataract. Option C. Zonular cataract. Option D. Blue dot cataract. The correct answer is C. Zonular cataract. Explanation. Zonular cataracts, also known as lamellar cataracts, are the most frequently occurring clinically significant congenital cataracts. They typically affect a specific zone of the lens and often have a genetic predisposition. Question 3. Which visual assessment test is used for infants below 3 months? Option A. Tumbling E test. Option B. Eye-popping test. Option C. Logmar chart. Option D. Cardiff acuity test. The correct answer is B. Eye-popping test. Explanation. The eye-popping test relies on a reflexive widening of the eyelids when room lights are suddenly dimmed, indicating gross visual perception. This behavioral response is useful for very young infants who cannot fixate or follow targets reliably. Question 4. At what postnatal age should a baby with a history of respiratory distress and sepsis undergo retinal evaluation for ROP? Option A. 2 weeks. Option B. 4 weeks. Option C. 6 weeks. Option D. 8 weeks. The correct answer is B. 4 weeks. Explanation. Retinal evaluation for retinopathy of prematurity is generally recommended at 4 weeks of postnatal age or 31 weeks post-menstrual age, whichever is later. Timely screening ensures early intervention for high-risk infants. Question 5. The most common clinical presentation of retinoblastoma is Option A. Leukocoria and heterochromia iridis. Option B. Leukocoria and pseudo-hypopion. Option C. Leukocoria and hyphema. Option D. Leukocoria and strabismus. The correct answer is D. Leukocoria and strabismus. Explanation. The most frequent clinical signs of retinoblastoma are leukocoria, white pupillary reflex, followed by strabismus. Recognition of these signs is vital for early diagnosis and preservation of life and vision. Preparing for Optometry Gov Job? Enroll our course Gov Job Preparation and get access to subject-wise notes, MCQs, previous year MCQs, mock tests, common group chat and more just in 1249 rupees for 1 year.
Question 6. Photophobia and watering, combined with a clear and large cornea, point to which diagnosis in infants? Option A. Keratoconus. Option B. Buphthalmos. Option C. Congenital dacryocystitis. Option D. Interstitial keratitis. The correct answer is B. Buphthalmos. Explanation. Buphthalmos, or primary congenital glaucoma, presents with the classic triad of epiphora, photophobia, and blepharospasm. The elevated intraocular pressure causes the immature eye to enlarge, leading to a large, often hazy cornea. Question 7. A 7-year-old male presents with 6/6 vision in the right eye and hand movements in the left eye. Fundoscopy shows subretinal yellowish exudates and telangiectatic vessels. What is the diagnosis? Option A. Coats disease. Option B. Sympathetic ophthalmitis. Option C. Retinopathy of prematurity. Option D. Familial exudative vitreoretinopathy. The correct answer is A. Coats disease. Explanation: Coats disease is an idiopathic condition characterized by retinal telangiectasia and intraretinal or subretinal exudation, predominantly affecting young males. It often leads to exudative retinal detachment if left untreated. Question 8. The most common route of spread of retinoblastoma is: Option A. Lymphatics. Option B. Optic nerve. Option C. Direct spread. Option D. Vascular. The correct answer is B. Optic nerve. Explanation: Retinoblastoma most commonly spreads directly through the optic nerve to the brain. This mode of extension makes optic nerve evaluation critical during enucleation to ensure complete tumor removal.
Preparing for optometry license exam? Enroll our course MCQs in Optometry and get access to subjects-wise notes, MCQs, previous year MCQs, last-minute revision and common group chat and more in just 1849 rupees. Question 9. The most common site of blockage in congenital nasolacrimal obstruction is: Option A. Valve of Rosenmüller. Option B. Ampulla of lacrimal sac. Option C. Common canaliculus. Option D. Valve of Hassner. The correct answer is D. Valve of Hassner. Explanation: Congenital nasolacrimal duct obstruction is most frequently caused by a membranous block at the valve of Hassner at the distal end of the duct. Spontaneous resolution is common, but probing may be required if it persists. Question 10. Amblyopia, which is the result of a significant difference in the refractive errors of the two eyes where one eye has the visual advantage, is known as: Option A. Strabismic amblyopia. Option B. Occlusion amblyopia. Option C. Stimulus deprivation amblyopia. Option D. Anisometropic amblyopia. The correct answer is D. Anisometropic amblyopia. Explanation: Anisometropic amblyopia develops when unequal refractive errors cause the brain to chronically suppress the blurred image from the eye with the higher prescription. It is a common cause of amblyopia and requires optical correction and often occlusion therapy. Subscribe our channel for more videos like this.